We're here in Dundee for the latest Times Forum to discuss the future of this city, and we're standing in front of two of the great icons of Dundee, the Discovery and the Tay Bridge. We've gathered together some of Dundee's leading figures to talk about how the major projects like these, like the V&A, are going to play in the future of Dundee. What future does a city like this have? Can it regenerate? And if so, what form will that regeneration take?
Dundee's really at a critical stage in its development, so we're poised, I think, now to deliver growth for the city and the city region. But what are the components that are really making that possible?
Dundee was built in this location because of the river. The proximity of the river for trade and for communication was vital. Now, Dundee has lost contact with its waterfront over the years, and now what's taking place is a gradual reabsorption of the waterfront into the heart of the city. It's vitally important that you create a vibrant and dynamic work environment and workspace down at the waterfront where people want to live, people want to work, and people want to enjoy leisure time. And that will spread regeneration throughout the city to its outer limits.
The Dundee waterfront regeneration is critical for the future of this area. It symbolises everything that is happening in Dundee at the moment. I mean, over the past 10 or 20 years, Dundee has revitalised itself in terms of really transforming from an old manufacturing base to a true knowledge economy. We've got some amazing industries, amazing academic institutions that are here. Now that we've built that corpus and that core strength, what we really need to do is have a place that represents and reflects that. And the vision for the waterfront here is truly remarkable. I mean, this will be, I believe, one of the greatest waterfront locations in Europe, if not the world, with an amazing, iconic vision of a building in the V&A at Dundee, followed up by an incredible infrastructure around it.
V&A at Dundee has the potential to showcase our extraordinary creative industries, not just of the present, but of the past. We have extraordinary creative industries in this country, have had for hundreds of years, and qualities of innovation and entrepreneurship exist throughout our history.
The V&A has that potential, not only in terms of jobs and development of the tourism business in Dundee, but also as a figurehead for the bigger waterfront development. Huge project over 10 years, thousands of jobs, opportunities for the city to reinvent itself, more positive, confident city, it's gone through a lot of hard years. So all those factors brought together will change the economy of Dundee and Tayside.
The V&A development in Dundee definitely could make a step change in this whole area, not just Dundee, but for Tayside, probably Perth and Kinross and Fife as well. It's been a huge initiative to get it this far, get it across the line. I think the challenge for us now is gathering momentum from where we are and taking it forward, so there's a real legacy from the project can go on not just for the next 10 years but for the next generation.
For too long Dundee's probably had a negative image, and I think over the past 10, 15 years that's been changing, and I think the next phase of works that we're about to see in Dundee waterfront will radically transform physically the city's appearance, certainly the centre of the city, and will radically transform perceptions of the city. I think that's really important in terms of attracting and retaining the key talent that we're going to need for the jobs of the future around life sciences, around renewable energy, around digital media. So really quite important in that regard.
V&A at Dundee can demonstrate that and help give confidence to developing enterprise in the city. Of course, V&A at Dundee can be very important as well for the development of tourism in Dundee and in the broader area, and we're excited about the potential for that. We hope that when V&A at Dundee opens, it may be able to attract up to 500,000 people in the first year, coming to our city, to our area. And we hope international visitors will be attracted to Scotland and Dundee because of that.
The perception of any waterfront city is enhanced across the world by having a delightful atmosphere to come to. And projects like the Victoria and Albert Museum at Dundee will bring an iconic world-class institution to the waterfront of a city which up to this point has not had proper recognition across the world.
And what that will breathe into the city in terms of civic life, passion, the kind of places that people who want to work in those knowledge economies will want to go, and a place that they'll want to live, will be truly transformational. So I personally, I'm just, couldn't be more positive about the developments that are going on here, and just now looking forward to seeing it all built.
Marine renewable energy for Dundee and Scotland is very important on three fronts in terms of the manufacture of the wind turbines, a fantastic opportunity to utilise Dundee Port. There's also, in the medium and long term, the use of the port facilities in and around Dundee for the maintenance and operation of these turbines, which will be out in the sea for generations. And finally, and probably as importantly, there is the development of the knowledge-based economy around the university in collaboration with other universities on the development of the technology, which is really in its infancy at this time.
I see a really critical role for universities in developing growth in cities and city regions and contributing to Scotland's economy. To give you one example, in Dundee, one of our really global strengths is in the biosciences. And life sciences now accounts for 16% of the economy in Dundee, and that's grown rapidly over the space of about 25 years. And that's very much a function of the university's recognition internationally, the ability to attract world-class talent and the ability to grow businesses out of the university's research.
Dundee needs to create the correct business atmosphere for economic recovery to take place. And that's going to mean both physical atmosphere, a physical environment through infrastructure investment, combined with the correct fiscal environment for economic development within the central waterfront, which will spill over into the rest of the city.
Certainly in our case, we very much are an international company, not just looking at exports, but I think an important point to make is that it's the internationalisation of the supply chain as well. So a lot of the components that we buy are sourced from other countries. And again, we can't just think about what we can source in Scotland or indeed the rest of the UK. It's looking further afield in Europe, the States and the Far East as well. So I think having that mindset that you need to be international from the start is very important for Scottish companies.
So I think you can gather from some of the comments we've heard that Dundee does not lack confidence, doesn't lack ambition, and if the kind of people who've been here today have any part to play in the future of Dundee, then this city has a great prospect ahead of it.